All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? This is Wednesday morning at 10:15 a.m. Wednesday, March 25th. The days are flying by. The weeks are flying by. The months are flying by. The years are flying by. So wherever you are in the world, hopefully you're doing great. Welcome. Appreciate the support. We're growing. We're growing on YouTube. We're growing in our Discord. We're growing in our Patreon. Click that link to find out more. Become a Johnny Says Boxing VIP insider. Become a member to our professional betting academy in our Discord. We're approaching 450 VIPs, 450, then 500. We started in August. We're on a roll. Become part of our growing community. It's not just boxing in there, MMA, all pro sports. We got sharps in all those channels. So just click that to find out more. Guys, make sure you hit the notification button on my channel so you never miss a video. If you would have the notifications on, you would know that I just uploaded my Stats Don't Lie video of Seb Fundora versus Keith Thurman, breakdown, prediction, analysis with that nice little piece of equipment, all edited up for you in a nice little format. So check that out. Let me know what you think. This is not an echo chamber. We do not have to agree on these things, but we do always come to the middle ground of what's the best sport in the world, boxing. I do want to remind all of our VIPs that currently in our Patreon and in our members section on YouTube, you guys have 5 tickets. So I've given you 5 tickets. I've given you a mixed long parlay. I've given you a knockout prop parlay. I've given you a parlay that I've titled 50-50 fights. So there's a lot of these like domestic level 50-50 fights that you're kind of like, what are these? I pieced together a little parlay. The odds are out of this world. I think the odds are, it's a 5-legger. The odds are like plus 1,500. So plus 1,500 on that one. And then there's an underdog of the week, which is a UFC fighter. And you're going to, and just stay tuned. It's only Wednesday. We still have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I want to get you at least 3 more. That'll take us to 8. We have a busy week. Shit, you might get 10. I'm still waiting for more fights to drop because I have to give you a safety net parlay and I have to give you a dog in the boxing ring. You already have a dog in the octagon. So just stay tuned to the channel. It's all happening. I appreciate the support. If you guys, however, by this time of the week, the super chats are already taken care of. I want to create a system with the super chats. Let's do those like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If you've won money, do those early in the week. I don't like asking for things like that. And then by the time we get here, like last night's live stream, I told you guys, by the time we get to Tuesday night, Wednesday onwards, just like the video. And I want to say thank you to everybody liking, because yesterday's live stream, we maxed out at 110 people in the live. And we had like 84 likes, which is, I remember when I started live streaming just this past July, I was happy when there were 5 of you in here. So it really means a lot to me. It's crazy. And we're just growing. It's going to be exciting to see where we're at in 5 years. I have a long-term mindset. And it's advice I give to all you guys. If you're building something, if you have a passion project, don't look at it in a micro stance. Look at it macro. Have a vision. Don't get frustrated. Oh, Johnny, I started a YouTube channel 2 months ago and nobody's following me, so I stopped posting. Dude, you know how hard it is? You got to be consistent, have a long-term approach, create a plan of attack, write things down, and let's get after this. This isn't by accident. Everybody who's involved with what we're doing, it's not by accident. Consistency, your outcomes will be direct results of your effort. Nobody gets what they want by just asking for it. That's the thing. Like, I once interviewed a guy on my older podcast. His name was Dr. John DeMartini. He's chapter 7 in my first book. There was a movie called The Secret, and there's a book called The Secret. It's all about manifest destiny, the law of attraction, and there's a whole in The Secret. Dr. John DeMartini's featured. I interviewed him in person as well, and we were the whole chat. We were talking about one of the biggest misconceptions about getting what you want in life is like you get these woo-woo gurus who say, just ask the universe, just manifest it, do a vision board. They're lying to you. You need to put work in. It's important to ask the universe what you want, but bitch, if you ain't working, you ain't getting shit. We gotta put this work in, boy. And on that note, I'm gonna start saying what's up to the squad. Supreme says, Fundora for the stoppage after the 5th. Keith will move and try his trick boxing until fatigue kicks in. Hard uppercuts may lead to a cut followed by, you have to show me something. You gotta show me something, champ. Gotta show me something, champ. May sprinkle a little something on Keith, 1 through 6. Wild overhand right. I mean, Seb got a chin, man. People act like Seb don't got a beard on him. He got stopped with a very unorthodox punch 4 years ago in a fight that he was winning every round. It wasn't like this sort of, Tim could punch. People act like Tim Tszyu could punch, and Seb was getting cracked. Seb got a chin. Yeah, I'm very I don't see small little Keith hurting. I don't see little Keith hurting Seb. What up, PJ? What's up, boy? Let's go. New video for free. Yeah, new video fire. Yeah, man. If you guys are new to the channel, you get those. I try to feature. Those are my Stats Don't Lie videos. So, King, if you're new to the channel, I've seen you on the live streams as of late. This playlist is called the Johnny Says Boxing live stream playlist. The other playlist with those edited ones, and you can see the receipts going all the way back to Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. That's under Fight Prediction. So if ever you want to watch my content where it's not alive, go to Fight Predictions. Don't forget to like that. Let's get those likes up. Dave Harley, Gabby by Stop It. You crazy. I think it's a good fight. Jeff says, I think this would be turned. I think it's a good fight. Guys, the thing I'm looking most forward to is how these styles will clash. And I think this is what you guys are looking forward to as well. We can't expect... When we're looking at pulling our wallets out and getting our credit cards out and putting our betting apps in our little phone, you have to weigh in the pros and cons. You have to ask yourself, and this is if you're not a degenerate, no offense to the degens out there, you guys are my boys. I used to be one when I lived in Vegas, so no offense to the degens. Degens will just see fights and just see odds and just play odds. That's not what we do here. We are research-based, experience-based, logic-based bettors. That's why we win consistently. When you're weighing the logic on this matchup, there are just too many unknowns in the bucket of Keith Thurman for me. We've talked about it all week, the inactivity. We've talked about the size, the physicality, the injuries, the durability. I've been watching content on YouTube. People are acting like Keith Thurman is this guy known for having a high, like a world like Hall of Fame fight IQ. No way, dude. Keith Thurman's legacy when he was at his best isn't a guy who was known for that. His legacy is a guy who is super athletic, a good counter boxer, relied on his athleticism, relied on his power and explosivity, all that stuff in a smaller division. And then his legacy will also be written, in my opinion, in this generation, the biggest what if. He was never the guy. The guy at 147 was always Errol Spence Jr. up until Bud stepped in. But even when Bud fought EJ in 23, Keith's last fight then was a year off against Barrios in 22, and he had already had a 3-year gap from the Pacquiao fight. So Keith to me is a guy when he was at his best, and I'm talking 2017 against DSG, a fight that if you rewatch it, you probably could give the DSG, or the fight against Ghost Guerrero, the decision, the fight against Sean Porter, in which I thought Porter probably won that fight. It was his athleticism and his explosivity. It wasn't his fight IQ. He wasn't setting traps and being methodical about it and waiting for people to jump. And then no, he was jumping in and out, those looping hooks, the speed, doesn't really use his jab, keeps his guard down, his hands are low. He exits out of the pocket with his hands low. He's susceptible to get hit to the jab. I don't like Keith when in the pocket. People, oh, he's gonna enter the pocket and beat up Seb. Are you kidding me? Keith doesn't like fighting in the pocket. I look at a Keith Thurman and I see a guy who, he likes to be a front runner. He likes to be a bulldog. He likes to bully. It works for him sometimes, but he doesn't like getting hit to the body. He's leaky on his defense in the body. Seb Fundora can fight you at range. He prefers to fight you in the pocket. Look at the adjustment Seb did from Tim Tszyu 1, Tim Tszyu 2, from the pocket to range. Look how much success he was having at range. A punch that I'm going to be paying close attention to is in the pocket, Seb Fundora's uppercut. I see that's probably going to be the punch I'm going to be paying close attention to. I talked about it in my breakdown. As the days get closer and closer to fight night, I'm more comfortable with my Seb Fundora pick and Seb stopping Keith. Why is Keith fighting? Like what? You'll be 38 in November. is to me, this is a fight he wants to do to prove something to himself. Rewatch. It'll only take you 7 minutes to watch Brock Jarvis fight. That fight, Brock Jarvis started his career at 126, by the way. In my video, I said 135. I looked at the box rec, 126. He fights Liam Perro. Where did he fight Montana Love at? Was that at 135? He gets stopped against Perro 140, and then he balloons up to 54. And Keith Thurman, it's politics. Let me go to Australia. I want the Tim Tszyu fight. Let me fight a fight at junior middleweight so I could tick that box. Keith didn't. I mean, Brock Jarvis just stood there the whole time, rounds 1 and 2, and Keith, he didn't look great to me. I mean, Brock just being on the ropes and getting hit like that, that's hitting a heavy bag. How he was moving rounds 1 and 2, it looked to me he lost a lot. Hemp in the house. Do I think Brian Mendoza beats Tejas? No. No. I don't think he does. Brian Mendoza is tough, though. I like the distance in that fight, probably because, Brian Mendoza is a bigger dude, 32 years old now. Tejas coming off, look, this is a 10-round fight. I was thinking about this. If this fight was a 12-rounder, I would say it was more of a 50-50 fight. This is a 10-rounder. We watched Tejas fade against Abbas Barao. He got back on the winning track against Kendall Castaneda. We know Mendoza recently went down to Tijuana or Michoacan, somewhere around there to get a little stay active, stay busy fight, like a get back fight. I don't know, man. I think Tejas' issues aren't about like him as a boxer. I think he's a better boxer than Mendoza. His issues are gas tank. I know I've been looking for the dogs and they're tempting. And guys, the odds, and I'll bring them up in a second. The odds makers are tempting us. I do have a dog on a parlay, by the way, in the UK. I'll show you. Let me catch up to everybody. I want to hear your dog of the week. So I don't really have one yet, but I did put one on a parlay, and I'll tell you in a second. Keith said he was emotionally eating and starting raw food. That ain't good. That ain't good. Rehan Station, bro, just crossed 10K again in winnings. Another donation video coming. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Rehan, okay. I do want to mention this. So this is my boyfriend. I know you on Instagram. So Rehan Station, and guys, this is for all of the people out there who are going to hate on you in your life. People, maybe it's your girlfriend, maybe it's your roommate, and they're like, "Why are you gambling? Gambling, you always lose." That's not always the case. If you do it strategically, if you do it smart, if you do it wise, if you have boundaries, if you have systems in place, you could win money on gambling, on betting on boxing. And I have proof because Rehan sent me a video of him donating a $15,000 check to a gentleman on his campus. This is real rap. This brought tears in my eyes, man. And I want to figure out how we could create content with this because I messaged you on Instagram and I told you, and I said, I was like, I want to sit with this. You sent it to me on Friday. It was him giving a check. So this is one of our JSB insiders donating a check from his winnings. Dude, this is one of the most beautiful things I've seen. What the fuck is this? We got more. We're a community here, man. You're a special guy, bro. You're a special guy, man. How amazing is this, dude? So I don't know the full story. I don't know the full story, and I want to know the full story. I want to do, I've done 2 documentaries in the past. And he says, read that. Your community made this happen. And I go, our community made this happen. That is a beautiful story. So, everybody has their own intentions on why they bet. Some it's entertainment, some it's to save money, some it's to donate, some is to give back. Rion Station, bro. That's a beautiful story, and I want to know more in depth. I'll message you on Instagram, man. Long live boxing. Dude, our group, our Discord's off the hook, man. Our group here. Okay, I'm gonna start catching up. I'm on the beach in paradise, about to watch the sunset. I'm listening to JSP and some shit don't change. Guys, this is amazing, man. Enjoy your time at the beach, man. We only live once. Life goes by too quick, man. Put your feet up. Put your feet up. Love yourself. Okay, so I think I'm gonna catch up. Moses. Everyone's talking about Moses now. Moses and Keith. Keezy's in the house. Long live boxing. Yeah, shout out to Rihan Station. All right, I'm gonna pull the odds up, guys. All right. So somebody asked me, what dogs do I like? Google. Why is it bringing up tennis when I'm typing in boxing? Okay. So Sajo's fighting again. I think he gets it done. Birchall gets it done. Dennis gets it done. I have this is a fight where I've done the tape. It's all look, guys, I don't want to disparage fighters. And if I ever do, hopefully you guys catch me on it, but I'm not here to call fighters bums, trash, blah blah blah. But the domestic scene is important. It's an integral part of the world level. You know what I'm saying? We must have a domestic scene everywhere, whether it's in the UK, Australia, America. The domestic scene is equally as important to world champions as journeymen or prospects or contenders. The domestic scene is a level in growth for each fighter. Now, that being said, we have basically a domestic card in the UK, okay? With a lot of these records that are, guys are 14-2 with 0 knockouts. Guys are, you're seeing records 17-3 with 1 knockout. You're seeing guys who are, I think Jerome Warburton, we featured Jerome on the channel last year when he fought Kieran Conway and he got stopped. Jerome Warburton, I think, is 14-2 with 2 knockouts. His last opponent was 12-165. And I think he got dropped. And he's fighting Nathan Heaney. So people are like, Warburton's gonna beat Heaney. I was like, I don't think so. But I do like Josh Holmes here. When I looked at the tape, when I looked at their resumes, when I looked at who they fought, the records of how they so I have Holmes here. I don't want to call that my upset of the week though. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the one you were talking about. I have Michael Gomez beating Flynn in another domestic fight. I have Nathan Heaney beating Warburton in a domestic fight. I got Shaquille Thompson beating Brad Pauls. Brad Pauls is a guy, I thought Pauls retired. I don't know, what's he fighting for? I'm not quite sure. I thought he retired. I got Shaq Thompson beating him. I got Hutch beating Ezra. Ezra's a big dude. I just don't like the fact that Ezra Taylor, he's 31, 32 years old. He's had 13 fights. Hutch has just been in there with the better competition, coming off a big win against Jeffers, a fight in which I picked Hutch, and I think he was a dog in that fight. I just think he's a little bit flawed, but I would put Hutchinson near kind of the fringe world level. I wouldn't put Ezra there. I don't think Ezra could punch. So I like Hutchinson here. Kaipo, Moses. This one, man, I tried, boy, dude. I tried watching tape on these two heavyweights, boy. I'm not betting on it. Gurjan Hovnician versus Cesar Navarro. Have fun watching tape on that one. Elijah versus Newman. The chat has been twisting my arm all week to take Newman. I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of Elijah Garcia. I could get into that. I'm going to do a Stats Don't Lie video. That's the next one that's coming out tomorrow. The Garcia versus Newman Stats Don't Lie video. I'll give you my breakdown and analysis and prediction, and I'll tell you a little about why I like who I think is going to win that fight. Renee Guerin versus Malik. We watch Malik Montgomery. He's slick. He just doesn't have power. We watched him get stopped against Joshua Pagan in one of those Salida Promotions fights cards a couple months back. Renee Guerin, I'm taking Renee in this fight. I think he's just going to be a little bit tighter in everything he does. Yohan Lee should handle Gachet. I know people are trying to get a little bit sexy taking Gachet as the dog there, man. I think Yo-Yo's that dude. I think Yo-Yo is going to be a world champion. Brian Rios, another guy. Didn't Ronnie Rios retire? What are we doing? I swear Ronnie Rios retired. I'm taking Acosta here. Yanis Tejas versus Mendoza. There's a lot of these fights. I just think Tejas, we're seeing, getting broken down and running out of gas against a world champion like Abbas Barral. He ended up becoming a world champ, then losing his belt to Xander. Not the end of the world for a pro who doesn't even have 15 pro fights. I said if this was a 12-rounder, I might be thinking about taking Mendoza. It's only a 10-rounder. And Yanis Tejas, since that loss to Barral, he's jumped back on the bandwagon, beating Castaneda. And Mendoza, like I said at the beginning of the stream, had a fight in, I think it was somewhere in the northern Mexican peninsula. And then Seb versus Thurman. So I'm going to catch up to the chat. We'll see if any insiders here want me to feature or go a little bit in depth on one of these fights. I could bring up the box rec for you guys. We're 22 minutes in. We're floating between 70 and 90. You guys know what to do. Just like the video. Okay, I'm going to... Oh, the phone. The phone? Yeah. I've had this. This is the iPhone 17. The case. My girlfriend's like, "Why don't you get a new case? Why don't you get a new case?" Because I like my case. If it works, don't fix it. I like my phone. Why you hate? We call them the art Ashers from Spartacus. Respect all modern day gladiators, even on domestic. Nice. Yeah. What's up, Johnny? Been super busy this week. Haven't had the chance to come on your live. Just wanted to say, Corey Marksman, we up. Our guy got it done. I've been telling your bets on him for a while. Yeah, Corey's won us money over the last 3 fights. Marksman look good. It's going to be exciting to see how they move Marksman. I didn't hear any news. Did Matchroom sign him? That was supposed. They were marketing that as whoever wins between him and Jacob is going to get signed. I mean, I would jump all over him. Being an American, what Golden Boy, Top Rank. I know Golden Boy just signed a multi-year extension with DAZN. I know Top Rank just signed a multi-year extension with DAZN. This is awesome news. We know about Matchroom's deal with DAZN. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how they move Marksman. He's only 26, 25. Fun guy. Skilled fighter. No, never. What's up, kid? Moses 6-10. I think Moses has gone 6 rounds twice. We talk about if you guys, if somebody asks you this week, why is Moses Ituama fighting Jermaine Franklin? What are the handlers? What are the the answer should be pretty evident. Franklin's a legit pro with some legit experience on his resume. Franklin is durable, and here's the bit: he's never been stopped. So in my breakdown, this is what they bring him in to get stopped. The fights in the UK, I think the stoppage is inevitable. There's nothing what I see Moses plays with his food. I don't think Moses is going to want to play with his food. I think he's going to want to jump on him. I think that we could be looking at a standing stoppage. So I know some of the boys are getting excited about playing a knockdown prop. I would just play the KO, TKO, and then depending on your bankroll, if you're like torn between 1 through 6 or over 6.5, I would just say general theory would just say take the stoppage. Why get sexy? Brandon Rios indeed retired. Why the hell is he back? If he got money problems, I hope he can. Talking much damage. Not Brandon Rios. Ronnie. Is that? Tell me that's not. Yeah, Ronnie's 34-5. Of his 5 losses, he's been stopped 4 times. He hasn't fought since he got stopped against Nick Ball in 2024. He got stopped against MJ in 2022. He got stopped against Hovanesian in 2018. And he got stopped against Castellanos in 2014. Yeah, so I thought he was done. He's fighting again. Ronnie Rios, not Brandon. Is the news true that Berlanga and Hitchens are signed to Zuffa? Let's check it out. As of March 2026, Edgar Berlanga is in advanced substantive talks to sign with Zuffa. Hasn't signed yet. Richardson Hitchens, as of 26, junior champ Hitchens has not officially signed with Zuffa, but is reportedly considering a lucrative offer. He is hesitant due to the risk of losing his IBF world title. So, there we go. What about Brian Acosta versus Ronnie Rios? I'm taking Brian Acosta in this fight, but I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm sure you just heard me talk about Ronnie. Ronnie's coming off of a retirement. Why? You know, you got to ask yourself, why are you fighting, mate? You know what I mean? We haven't seen him since he got stopped against Nick Ball. This is who he's fighting, Brian Acosta, 20-2. Acosta's the younger dude, 27 years old, 5'7", hungry. His last performance, though, Sagawa. He's coming off 2 losses in Ramon Cardenas. I like Acosta to get it done, believe it or not. 2 losses in a row. So, bro, what do you think about Thurman going the distance? The Thurman fight going the distance? I don't think it goes the distance. My only concern is Moses' injury and him carrying him, but I get the same vibes I got from the White fight. Moses' injury. Huh. Big parlay in the house. The good vibes. Appreciate you. What do I see in Nathan Heaney? It's not what I see in Nathan Heaney. It's what I don't see in Warburton. Nah, Warburton. Nathan Heaney's been. Oh God, I'll show you. Did you watch tape, dude? Yeah, I taped Warburton last fight. I was like, never again. I'm never watching. I'm never doing it again. This is Jerome. 16-2. 2 knockouts. 30 years old. This is his last fight. So look who, like, Nathan Heaney has wins over guys with winning records, if we're gonna really be be frank. He's the bigger dude. He's the A side. He's gonna wait till you see the crowd for Nathan Heaney. Do some Google news about Nathan Heaney and his local sort of crowd, and look who he's beat. Look who he's fought in his career, man. Look who Jerome Warburton has beaten in his career. He just fought Jordan Graham. Jordan Graham was 12 and 167. He just fought a guy 2 points. He just won a decision against a guy who has 167 losses. Okay? The fight before that, I featured. There's a StatStone Live video. So if you want to get a deeper understanding of Jerome Burton's style, go to the StatStone Live video on my channel and see the Kieran Conway breakdown. Conway knocked him out. Before the Conway fight, Warburton beat a guy who was 8 and 72. Are we seeing a pattern here? He drew against Ryan Kelly, who was 19 and 4. Like, look at these records. Daryl Sharp, 8 and 119. Gerald Krajewski, 0 and 46. Gennady Kanuski, the boys are just fighting the brothers, 6 and 98. 2 of his wins are against Jordan Graham. He fought Jordan Graham 2 years ago when Jordan Graham was 6 and 98, and he won. He fought Jordan Graham again this year. Now, this time, Jordan Graham, he won 6 more fights, but he lost 70 more fights. Come on, dude. Here's Nathan Heaney. Come on, Nathan Heaney. Dude, BoxRec is suspect. Oh my God. Here's Nathan Heaney. Here's who Warburton is fighting. Heaney's 19-1. He's 6 feet tall. He's 36. Warburton's 30. One's an orthodox fighter. One's a southpaw. I don't think Jerome Warburton's really a boxer, guys. Nathan Heaney. He beat Grant Daniels, who was 19 and 13. No contest against Cotty, who was 17 and 5. He got dropped. It was a bad fight. Brad Pauls, he lost. He drew to Brad Pauls. He has a win over Denzel Bentley, who's 18 and 2. Denzel Bentley's fighting against Zavidra. I think Bentley will lose, but guys, don't be risking your bank account on these fights. Please don't. Please don't. Jerome Warburton. Do what you know what? Do what you want to do. What's up, CEO? Everyone who watches needs to join. A lot of us are in the Discord, man. This is the best promotion you could ever have. The best $5 I've ever spent. Appreciate you. Like the video, boys. Why are you betting on Heaney? The Cotty no time. You got beat up and stopped and got overturned. THC. I know Warburton got one. No way, dude. I think we already talked about it. No way, dude. Was Murphy versus no? Not a hard decision at all. Smith versus Playo announced that. Ooh, I like it. I like Playo on that. I appreciate you answering my question. Yeah, all good, Soriano. Who do you find a tougher opponent? What? Fucking Ezra. What, dude? What are we talking? Dude, Jerome Warburton. Oh my God! Have you guys not seen him fight? He's just everything's just slow and methodical. Jerome fights like he's fighting underwater, and you guys are putting me in a position to be a dick. I'm not being. I don't want to be a dick, but like, did you not read what I just told you? Did you? Are you guys not watching tape or did you not watch anything? I've seen the breakdown last year, and I see the fight Warburton. Yeah, Warburton, he's probably getting knocked out, dude. I bet you Warburton gets stopped in like the first 2 minutes, the first 2 rounds. You really think the way Thurman runs around sometimes? No, I don't like distance. I think Seb's gonna stop Thurman. Who do you guys like? Agarco? No, dude. People have been sleeping on Brandon Adams forever, dude. Brandon Adams just reminded everybody who he is in that belt to ass victory over Serhii Boacek. And Boacek isn't done yet, dude. People thought Boacek was done. He ain't done. Just came out and beat Butiev. So Brandon Adams, man, hopefully he gets a. This is a big fight for him. No one's really saying his name. Brandon Adams is that dude. Do you guys? Well, the thing about Terrell Gausha is Terrell's never been stopped, has he? Terrell's what, 37 now? Yo-Yo is big puncher. Terrell Gausha is a pro, man. When we talk about a fight IQ, we're talking about Terrell Gausha. Terrell Gausha is a fighter who uses his fight IQ. Depending if he's fighting a counter boxer, an aggressive puncher, he knows how to survive. That's called having a fight IQ. Keith Thurman jumping in and out of range and throwing hooks from awkward angles and using his athleticism and his speed to avoid damage isn't a fight IQ. That's a dude being an athlete. But Gausha has a high. Terrell Gausha, man, Olympian. Dude, Gausha had Tim Tszyu in trouble in the first round. It's just he's 37. That's the thing, man. Will Terrell Gausha at 37 just say, you know what? I'm about to prove to this young, hungry fighter that I'm going to stand and punch with him. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll try to slick and catch and counter. And Yo-Yo better manage himself properly. I'm saying this is going to be shocking. Of all the plus 500 or more dogs this weekend, I think Terrell Gausha. I mean, I have Yo-Yo winning, but you know, if I'm thinking about seasoning, skill, fight IQ, durability, experience, and then I'm thinking about who's the biggest dog of the weekend that could win. I mean, Terrell Gausha is. If that's a 12 round, I know it's not a 12 rounder, but you know, watch his tape, dude. Terrell Gausha is good. Maybe because I'm favoring him because he's from Ohio. He's from Cleveland. You know, I love my Northeast Ohio fighters. Think about back in the day when there was 89, little brother on the ground. Think about that one time. Cleveland is the city where I come from. Warburton fight going to be a. Y'all gonna see about Warburton. They gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today. Where's my guy at? Where's GK at? Let's give GK some love. GK's big on one time. Look, I gotta give a shout out to our Discord because if anybody is kind of on the fence about who we are, what we do, I already showed you earlier in the live stream. We have one of our JSB insiders who won $15,000, 15,000 and donated it. Okay, that's what connected to that thought. I mean, I pray that one day I could be so. You know, we all want to be that generous. We all want to be that noble. It's a very noble thing to do. It's a beautiful thing to do. And I'm glad that you're part of our community, Rehan Station. I'm glad that you're part of our team, man. You make us better. I mean that. Another element of a planned, it was my goal getting started was to be able to disagree and not get disrespectful. And you know, I was reading the chat because half the chat, dude, this is one of those fight weeks. Doesn't happen all the time. It didn't happen last week. Didn't happen the week before. But this is one of those fight weeks where people are getting emotional. They're all in their feelings. They're in their wallets. And one side is loving Seb and one side's loving Thurman. And reading the chat. You know, I just wanted everybody's being real, you know, being gentlemen. We don't have to agree. We just don't, you know, I don't want you being a dickhead. Yeah, so you can see it's a mixed bag. Half the boys are on Thurman. Half the boys are on Thurman going the distance. Half the boys are on Fundora. So yeah, it's good to see that we could disagree and not get all emotional about it. Fundora in 4. I'm not again, dude. I think Seb's gonna steamroll him. I mean, this kid. I think he's gonna steamroll him, man. I think Keith is gonna be in way over his head. I don't think Keith has the power. I don't think Keith has the durability. I don't think Keith has the conditioning. Everything is going to be wrong with his timing. The timing of 2 fights in 7 years. Now you're going against a 6'6" guy who uses his timing to fight in different ranges, who punches down. Mate, I was listening to a Tim Tszyu interview this morning before I was filming, and he was talking about the thing that that he took away the most after fighting Seb Fundora twice was his power. He was saying how his power is really underrated, how he can make punches. He throws punches either from close proximity, because you look at this long-rangey guy, some guys need a lot of room to punch. He was like, he was getting hit with shots from close proximity that fucking stung. And I think that's another thing. I don't think Thurman likes getting hit I think Thurman gets stopped. He's going to get hurt to the body, and I think it's going to be an uppercut. Yeah, I think he's getting one. I think he's just there to get paid. Tejas Mendoza. Look, if you're playing odds and you're playing patterns, Mendoza's never been stopped. Look, Mendoza's a big dog, never been stopped. Terrell Gausha, a big dog, never been stopped. Just keep that in mind. One's fighting Yoenis Tejas, the other one's fighting Yo-Yo Lee. Jermaine Franklin, never been stopped. So this is also, if you guys want to do a pattern parlay, call it whatever you want. I mean, I have Moses stopping Franklin, but he's never been stopped. But I think that's why they're fighting him. I think that the exact reason they're pulling Franklin in is because they want to use that as leverage moving forward to hit the world level with some momentum. Hey, man, we just beat this true pro, this big old durable seasoned veteran who's never been stopped, and our boy just starched him in 2 rounds. We up next. You know what I mean? So I think that's why that fight's going down. I don't see Tejas Mendoza. Take it. Get on it. Get on up. Get up by. Get on up. Get up by. I'm happy Adams is getting an opportunity. He was shoved. Yeah, he was. I mean, they did the same. I mean, look how long. There's a difference. Like, look what Top Rank for years did to Crawford. Just shelved him for years, man. Like a sex machine. Get on up. Warburn looks explosive to you. Whoa. Take him then, brother. Damn, I would never, if there's one adjective I would never use about Jerome Warburn, it would be explosive. Warburn looks like he's fighting underwater, dude. I think Gausha is being done wrong. He's always loses close fight. Terrell Gausha is the American Sandor Martin. You know what I mean? Terrell Gausha is the American Sandor Martin. Always in close fights, but never wins close decisions. Always comes in on the B side and, just always on the short end of the stick. Same with Sandor Martin. Both guys been in really close fights every time they step up at the world level. Dude, Sandor Martin against Teofimo Lopez, Sandor Martin against Alberto Puello, Terrell Gausha in almost every one of his fights. Those guys aren't getting decisions. Gausha, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you guys want to do I would not be mad at you. I would not be mad at you, dude. The Duke of Bucks. When you look at Yo-Yo, he's not a seasoned pro. I mean, he plays the part, and he's very marketable, and he looks the part. He's big, and he's aggressive, and he's flashy. But none of that shit matters when you get in the ring with a guy who is a legit seasoned veteran who knows how to box. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at you taking Gachet there. I'm not. But there's definitely an argument to be had. David, we always got these weeks, David, don't we? We always look, and David, I appreciate you sweating. I'm sweating the Warburton guys. We watch too much boxing when we're sweating a Jerome Warburton and Nathan Heaney fight. We're in the woods. We're in the weeds. We are in deep, boy. We are watching Jerome Warburton footage, dude. I was kind of offended by Sergio Mora. Did you guys watch the matchroom card? Sergio Mora right before Jacob Gomez and no, in the middle of Jacob Gomez versus Corey Marksman. Sergio Mora says he'd never heard of Corey Marksman. And my initial reaction was to kind of like in my head, like, damn, man, I can't believe you don't know who he is. What the hell? In my instant thought, that was my thought. In my mind, my thoughts sound like 10-year-old me, who's an absolute complete douchebag who would make fun of people. But then that thought was like a split second, and then the next thought was like, oh, because he doesn't watch every international D level to world class fight like you do. Nobody does. You guys are savages. Like, nobody knows these guys, dude. I was kind of shocked though he didn't know Corey Marksman because he's an American. You know what I mean? But like, I was like, damn, Corey Marksman to us is like almost a household name. We've covered him on the channel for like a year and a half. That was our third fight breaking him down. But Sergio's like, I ain't never even heard of him. I don't even know who he is. This is an American fighter, an undefeated fighter, a 26-year-old came up through, the Georgia scene. But we can't expect everybody. We like my channel, 3D's channel. There's not a lot of us guys. There's not. I mean, there is not a lot. Maybe if I don't know anyone other, I couldn't name you 10 YouTube channels that are breaking down every international fight card every single week and who could talk about Nathan Heaney versus Jerome Warburton. And I live in Australia, and I know Gary's in Texas, so there's not a lot of us. That's why the community's dope. Haney versus Warburton, Holmes versus the same also. David, you wild boy. David, you a wild boy. Thurman dropped once in 2013, wobbled in 2015. Fundora needs to take him out 6 rounds. Didn't Pacquiao drop him with a jab in 2019? Didn't Pacquiao drop him with or am I tripping? Told you about weak body Keith. Glad you're on season. I do, Fresh BX. I do. Top Dog. What's up, Top Dog? Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Top Dog, because of you, and a couple others, I think we have about 5 ladies in our Discord. And I grew up in a house of women. I mean, granted, I have my pops. My dad was the lion. And then my mom was the lioness. And then I have 3 sisters. And I'm the only boy. So my father raised me, Johnny Event. My two of my sisters were older than me. And I was a great athlete. I had my college paid for due to sports and scholarships. My 2 older sisters were better athletes than me. So when I was at a certain age young, my middle sister used to beat up dudes for me. So I was raised by a father to respect women, to protect women. And so in our Discord, every now and then, the boys try to act up. So I got you. Every now and then, I got to remind everybody, hey, boys, we're approaching 400. We have almost 500 people in here. There's women in here. Act as if your mom was in here. Act as if your girl was in here. Act as if your sister was in here. So this is how I live my life, though. So you bring to the team some class. We appreciate you. Boxers don't have health insurance. How many surgeries do you? So I know on paper. Well, hold on. Boxers, you can have health insurance. There isn't it's not like the NFL. It's not like a team sports where there's like a unified insurance thing. But I'm sure he has health insurance, dude. He's made good money in his career. Elbow, bicep, wrist, hand. I know at least 4 surgeries. And that's just public. Those are the public ones. Let's go, Johnny. We have about 8 to 10 weeks of left. Brother, we have 8 to 10 weeks. This is what we do year round, big dog. We have life. We don't have 8 to 10 weeks, Sal. We have life. Hey Johnny, we have about our lives of fight weeks. Our whole life is a fight week. I love it. In my opinion, I said for Boots Stanionis, in order for Franklin to not get stopped, he gotta be made of vibranium. Ooh, drop a vibranium on that ass. Maybe no distance. Everyone hate Keith. You think everyone hates Keith? No. Hold on. What do you mean everyone hates Keith? I would disagree. I like Keith. I mean, I'm just not betting with my heart. I'm betting with my wallet. I don't know anyone who hates Keith. If at least what I'm reading in discords and in boxing forums, people hate Fundora for some reason. Like Seb Fundora is a guy that you would want your little son to cheer for. This is a dude who's I talked about it yesterday on a live stream. Educated, reads, well-spoken, family man, God-fearing man, doesn't party, doesn't do drugs. Like he's like a samurai. I think people hate on Seb for some reason. I think Keith Thurman is adored by the boxing community. He's like well respected by the media. Everybody I've spoken to or knows Keith always speaks highly of Keith Thurman. He's one of those guys that'll probably be more loved when he retires. And it's unfortunate that, in my opinion, that his legacy as of now is more of a what if rather than what has been. It's more of a what could have been. But you never know, man. This weekend, this is why we love our sport, and boxing is the greatest sport on earth. I think deep down, everyone watching this, our connection, we're all kind of hopeless romantics. We like a comeback story. So, it's not too far-fetched, guys. And this could happen for all you Keith Thurman bettors. If Keith goes in and somehow, as a 3-1 dog, ends the fight with the WBC 154-pound strap around his waist, and then goes on a unification tour and unifies just once. Imagine if he goes to the UK and fights Josh Kelly. That could, bro, you never, we're either watching the end of a decent career or we're watching the renaissance of what could be a Hall of Fame career. Because we know boxing history is always kind to comeback stories. You know what I'm saying? The history books love comeback stories. And so that's what was pulling me at the beginning of the week to bet on him. But, having just sat with it and seeing what he looked like, I don't like the way he looked against Brock. Everybody just remembers that finishing sequence when Brock was just like a heavy bag. But what I remember, hold on, it's my girl. What's up? What's up, Chrissy? Can I call you back? I'm on a live. Yeah, go on. Everybody can hear you, but go on. There's about 80, 90 people on the live.
Oh, that's fine. Just quick, I need to send a professional email.
Okay.
Yovi, is that short for anything?
Yeah, his full name's Jovan
Can you message that to me? And his last name, please.
Gerbovich. I'll send it to you. I'm going to get off in like 10 minutes.
All
right. Love you. See you soon. Bye. All right. Sorry about that. It's family around here. What was that? I forget what I was talking about. Keith Thurman. All of that, what I said about what's at stake, it's just hard for me to bet on him to do that. Blue collar tapping him. Keith got one of the best boxing minds in the sport. What do you mean by this? I don't understand. I've heard other people say this. Boxing minds? Like, are you saying within a fight he's able to go to plan B, plan C, he's able to set trap? Or are you saying he knows, like, the history of fighters? Because I don't know, man. Boxing minds. So he has I don't know. So does Inferno have a glass jaw? No, not at all. That hook came out of nowhere. Tim Zoo punches harder than Brian Mendoza. Yeah, that was just I don't want a fluky punch. Josh Holmes. I have Josh Holmes, Kevin. I think Josh Holmes going into I think Josh Holmes going into Fight Night will be a favorite, by the way, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Have you? No, I don't get to bet on the PFL, but my buddy from where I come from fights in the PFL. He got knocked out against his last fight. He got head kick knocked out against Fabian Edwards. Dalton Rasta, he's a buddy of mine. I know Dalton's fighting coming up. Keith, can you? Well, Mendoza was 27 when he fought Fundora. Keith is going to be 38 in November. And this isn't the same Fundora, by the way. Yeah, Keith is. If Keith is not a Hall of Famer, by the way. Keith is not a Hall of Famer at all. I don't even. Keith would have to beat Fundora and defend his belt a couple times. If Keith ended up putting somehow becomes a champion and unifies, even then I don't know if he'd be a Hall of Famer. It just doesn't. You got to beat, like, to be a Hall of Famer. You generally have to, win titles and unify titles in multiple divisions and beat Hall of Famers and catch guys on the come up and catch guys in their prime. I mean, his two best wins, there's arguments that he lost, DSG and Porter. And neither one of those guys, and both, I mean, DSG's resume is good, but when you look at all the guys he beat, none of them were really in their prime. It's an interesting one. I'm glad I don't make those rules. I'm glad I don't make those rules. In the most recent generation, a Hall of Fame career looks like Terrence Crawford. The Hall of Fame should be adored. The Hall of Fame should be really hard to get into. It's not like anybody gets to go. So when you think about Bud Crawford's career that we all just got to see, that's a Hall of Fame career. This is a kid who started at 35. Even if he doesn't jump to 68 from 54, it's still a Hall of Fame career for what he did, going up from division to division, becoming undisputed in multiple beating world champions. He did it at 35, 40, 47, 54, the Madrimov victory. So that's what a Hall of Famer career looks like, the risks that he had taken. And then not to mention the Canelo fight, say what you will, not the best Canelo. You can't control when you fight these guys. But I know damn well we haven't seen in our day, in our era, somebody doing that. And so, Manny did it in 8 divisions. Oscar De La Hoya did it in 6 divisions. 6. I think Oscar might be the only guy to have done it in 6 divisions. One of my all-time favorite fighters is Oscar De La Hoya. You tell me Keith Thurman is a Hall of Fame? Come on, guys. There's no shade. Did he have Hall of Fame potential? Wasn't he Fighter of the Year in 2015, or he was Prospect of the Year? That's a different story. I'm worried about Keith's legs. Watch the first. I wish I could bring it up. I could bring it up, but then we would get copyright strike. Watch the first 2 rounds against Brock. He was like the thing that I'm going to be. If I were betting on Keith, like some of you guys, that you should be worried about is the hesitation in decision making. Nobody talks about this. Everyone's just talking about what the fighters look like in the ring, what the styles look like, what they've done for us lately, etc., etc., etc. What nobody is talking about, though, is the reality of when Keith is in there, the hesitation or lack thereof that he will either have or not have in decision making against the 6'6" guy. That comes down to reflexes, and that's why this 2 fights in 7 years, I wasn't betting on him, because it's not like Fundora is a range counterboxer to where maybe if you're fighting him at range, you could find a little tempo and you could fight into your rhythm and not really have to worry about making too many split-second decisions without getting hurt. That's not the case. Sebastian Fundora is going to be a pressure. He's a pressure front forward guy who throws 20% more volume around than Fundora, and that was than Keith, and that was Keith in his prime. So Keith is going to have to make these decisions on the fly like this. Does that 37, 38-year-old frame, does that 37-year-old brain, is it still working like it was at 26, 27? I don't think so. That's what I saw in the first 2 rounds against Brock. That's what I was watching. I was watching Brock Jarvis versus Keith Thurman, and I was watching Keith Thurman's reactions. Not so much slipping reaction time, but the decision-making when to throw, the decision-making when to weave, the decision-making, like that. Was he thinking? Was he just reacting? Was he hesitating? I saw much more hesitation in that fight. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is this is different from fight IQ. Yeah, this is his knowledge of the game. I mean, he's a former world champion. He knows his shit. All fighters though. It's just some fighters can't articulate it. So Yo-Yo will be the first fighter to stop Gachet. Get after it. Get after it. When something is not switch on a dime, drop a vat, and change plans right away. Plan B, plan C. Yeah, what were we talking? I thought I was right. Revisionist history, Emmanuel. Oh yeah. You don't think Bud's the standard? Why not make Bud the standard? It'd be good for the sport. Why not make Bud the standard? That's the standard I want my fighters. Multiple division world champion. And I don't even care about the undefeated bit. How he operated. That dude wanted to smoke all the time. Mean. How he fought. Skilled. Technical. Smart. Could be aggressive. Could counter. He would travel. Nobody talks about that. This dude had to go to the UK multiple times. He went into Ricky Burns' backyard to take his belt from him. You know how hard that is? Ricky Burns was a dog. All right, now you guys need to watch more boxing because I know you're not saying Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins is one of the best to have ever done it. What are you talking about? I'm not mad at that statement. I have no idea Kelly's. Yeah, he just fought. We just saw Kevin Lee Saggio fight like a month ago. I put Saggio on my long parlay. Guys, stay tuned. If you haven't caught my Stats Don't Lie breakdown of Fundora and Thurman, it's up now. I'm going to be releasing Elijah Garcia and Kevin Newman. No one's talking about this fight. It's one of my most looking forward fights of the weekend is Elijah versus Kevin Newman. It's intriguing. It's Elijah's first fight at 168. The 22-year-old hard-hitting southpaw, been in close fights. I was telling everybody, the 160-pound, 168-pound division, both of those divisions, you don't see many 19-year-old, 20-year-olds fighting at the world level. When Elijah was 19 and he knocked out Armando Resendez, and now Armando Resendez is a world champion, and then like they threw Elijah in there with Terrell Gachet. They threw Elijah in there with Kyron Davis. Elijah Garcia is still a kid, so he's an exciting prospect, contender that I always watch, and I'm excited to see what this new weight class, what he looks like. Kevin Newman, 32 years old, not much on him. I know a lot of people think Newman is going to beat Garcia. I just don't see it. We'll see. I'm still trying to find some tape. Ezra, this is the last one. Ezra Hutchinson, I don't even know. I don't think so. I think when we're looking at world-class experience, world levels, fighting styles, I put Hutch here. I put Ezra here. Ezra at 30, 31 years. He's only fought 13 times. He's 31. He doesn't punch. He's not a puncher. He's a big dude, looks the part. But I think Hutchinson's going to be way too aggressive. Hutchinson could crack. Been in there with the better opponents. I wouldn't overthink it.